Yo, what's happening? What's good? I hope you are doing well. It is your buddy Samutupi and welcome on today's market forecast video whereby we are going to be looking at the markets, and most importantly we are going to be able to understand what the future movements can be like, and we can learn from it, because the previous week we also did look at it and we're able to just capitalize on certain moves. At the same time, we happen to have gained experience from the markets. So this week it'll be the same thing. Each and every single week we focus on gaining that daily success, because once you happen to gain that daily success, eventually it leads up to all these small successes that lead up to the bigger success. And by the way, we currently have less than 7 spots left for our mentorship program. So if you are looking into being one of those dedicated members that would love to, obviously work with us, then the link is going to be in the description box. Make sure that you are in the Telegram group so you can learn more information. And yeah, let's just get straight to it. But obviously, before we dive a bit more deeper into the charts, one thing that I need from you is to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and at the same time make sure that you are one of those people that are commenting below and telling me what it is that you love to see and what it is that you actually want me to improve more on. So yeah, let's get straight to it. I've got here, I am going to be starting off first with the dollar index, which is the DXY. So let's just start off from the bigger time frame, which is the daily, because what this does is that it will be able to just help us see where the market is going within the next few days. Now, so I can easily see that right here we've got our area of support, which first support, second support, which means that obviously this area here has been able to hit the support at least more than twice, and on top of that we can see this impulse. It went up, now it came back down, even though it's moving downwards in a much more sketchy way, but there's a daily time frame, so all these movements to the downside, it means that it did play a part. So what happens is that currently we can as well see that here we had this area, with my visual eye, one thing that I can see is that we have this area be our left shoulder, our head, and our right shoulder right here. So this is what we're seeing on the dollar index right there. So this is what we're seeing now on the dollar index from the daily perspective. So that means that if price happens to, like now price bounced here, it went all the way up, that means that price has bounced here once again. It means that we are looking into price going all the way up until right here at this specific limit, which is here 105.894. So what happens is that I am going to be going down to the 4-hour chart, and on the 4-hour I want to see what price is actually telling me. And so far, one thing that I love about this chart is that it's very precise onto what's more likely to happen on the dollar index, because we can easily see that we came from this area being an impulsive leg to the upside, and now we are in this corrective phase. So obviously this being our impulse, and now this being our correction, and within that correction we normally look at what's price telling us. Where is price going to break out to? What is price actually trying to show us it's going to move at within the next few candlestick movements? So one thing that I'll do is that I am going to be able to just do my pattern separation. So what this does is that it allows me to be able to understand the future movements of what price is telling me here. And so far I can see that yes, this is an impulse, this is a correction, which means that the next impulse has to be to the upside. So that's one thing that I was able to spot. So far with this, just on the 4-hour time frame, I can easily see that price came here, first touch, second touch, and right now we are on third touches, which means that there's a higher chance of us, let me just even use this, there's a higher chance of us just literally testing here, giving us a third touch and going all the way to the upside, continuing and going all the way to the upside, all the way up to here. So now most people would be like, no, it's not gonna go there, it might move like this and like this. And truly speaking, guys, that is in the longer term picture. I mean that price can easily just move like this and play around, then move, and then play around, and then move, then play around, and then eventually get here. So it's not necessarily that it's gonna eventually just shoot all the way up to here. It doesn't happen like that with the markets. That's why they say that the markets, what happens is that most people that are impatient, they give the money to the patient people because they were impatient enough to study and follow these moves. But what does with the chasers, like I did mention that we only have 7 spots that are left, so you can take advantage of those spots if you want to take your trading to the next level. But with us, what it is that we refine these entries, we focus a bit more on getting that sniper entry, just so we can reduce our lot size, we can reduce our risk, at the same time we can maximize on our rewards. So just with that single move, we are able to make so much from the markets. So that's one thing that we're looking for. So obviously, guys, there is literally close to no risk with you being a part of our mentorship program, but there's so much of things that you can gain. So just check it out, and yeah, you'll let me know once you're in, and obviously I'll be excited to just show you on what we can do moving forward. But now looking at it here on the 1 hour time frame, like I did mention, first touch, second touch, third touch, just by doing this here, I can see there's a clean support area right here. So what I'm saying basically makes sense. A sell, I'm not really seeing a sell anytime soon. The one thing maybe that can happen, that can try to influence you know, what I'm trying to see would be if maybe price breaks here and comes here, because you can see this is a low here, we had a low here. So if maybe price comes here and then boom, then that's when it goes up. But at the same time, because we are aware of that move, we are going to be able to look at it and we'll be able to capitalize whether it does happen that way or not. But that is the DXY, guys. So far we noticed that with the dollar index or the dollar on its own, we are actually going to the upside. So what we'll do is that I am going to be looking at US 500, I'm going to be looking at US 30, and lastly I am going to be looking at USDJPY, so we can be able to see how we can capitalize from the dollar index to literally being able to print money, or to literally be able to just download this money that we're speaking of. Because remember, with trading, you are either an analyst or you are a trader. If you're a trader, it means that you're not just going to see the setups, but you are going to execute on them. So right here you can see 4-hour chart, price giving us first touch, second touch, which now we've been here, the third touches here, and price actually kept on moving downwards in a corrective way. So what I'm more likely to do here is I'll be just going to the 1-hour time frame, and I'll just be removing this so I can actually be able to just look at right here what actually happened with price. I might as well even remove this. It's okay, it doesn't really matter now because of the fact that I'm getting what I want. Even this, I might as well even just remove it because I want to focus more on this, especially on the 1-hour time frame. So what I'm more likely to do is I can either have a trend line that's going to show or support that. I can have a trend line that's going to be more like this, and as well here at the top side I can have a trend line that will be more like this. Boom, boom. More like this and more like this. I might as well even just remove the zone. But what this does is that it shows me that price has tested here. Price has now tested here. It tested here now lastly for the third touch, which means that obviously price can still continue going a bit more to the upside. But how it's moving here, I'm not a fan of how the market is moving. But what this does is that price can still move, come here, and once it gets here, maybe it can break above, and then that's when we will see price pushing all the way up to here. And once we are done with this move, that's when we can now start expecting those longer term buys and moving all the way upwards with it, because we saw on the daily, on the dollar index, that price is still going upwards. Like here you can see our overall target with US 500 would at least be somewhere here if we are very generous about it. So imagine taking this and having a risk. Let's just look at the risk compared to reward, because remember we did mention that we are more focused on the risk compared to reward. So let's say now, for instance, with what I'm seeing here, obviously for now I wouldn't say it's ready for an entry, but let's say now, for instance, looking at here, this area being our resistant, price broke above, price coming back to a retest. So obviously within the mastermind program would even know that, oh, this is where we should be executing our buys, especially with the fact that this candlestick has closed. So we wouldn't execute it. Market execution would rather put a buy stop right here, and would rather have a stop loss right here, and obviously first take profit, which is somewhere here. We can easily see close to a 3%, but would be more excited looking at taking our overall take profits, which should be somewhere here at 4.9%. So even if we take more than 5 trades that are negatives, just this one trade is actually going to put us ahead. So that's something that I love. And if I want to be a bit more aggressive about it, I can easily just execute here. I can easily have my stop loss be here where it's supposed to be, and I can do eventually just move this up all the way up to 12%. But obviously I understand that when the market opens, there'll be gaps, there'll be spreads. I'll have to just lay low for at least 2 to 3 hours. So it means that I won't be able to execute this trade, but I can get a trade whereby maybe when the market would be somewhere around here, and it will allow me to put stop loss here, and it will allow me to just do this. But see what I'm doing, the same stop loss that I'm having, what I'm doing is that I'm now increasing my potential, my reward potential. So now let us take a look at US 30. So US 30 is actually a trade that we already did speak about, and we are already running even now as we speak. I'll just make sure that I put some screenshots here so you can see this trade. We share it in the private teams. So what happens is that now it will just be more about evolving. And obviously most people will be thinking that this is our overall take profit, but with me, how I'm looking at it is this is just first take profits, where members can be able to take their profits once they reach here, but our overall take profit is at least coming all the way up to here 6.4%, and this can be done very easy, because as soon as the market opens, what we'll be looking for, or what we will be now focusing a bit more on, is managing this trade. Like so far I can see this happened, this happened. So this is what the price is now telling me. Price already is now, it's moving within profits. So once it gets here, once it breaks above here, one thing that I can do is that I can easily just move my stop loss to break even. Once it breaks above here, my stop loss will be at break even, and then we are going to continue going all the way upwards with it. And that way we can be able to just allow this trade to be turned into a successful trade. But the most important thing is how we go about managing it, because it can go down, come here, resistant, go down, close to yet support. And if we are impatient about it, that means that we can close this trade a bit more early, whereby if it's a premature close, it means that we are going to miss out on this movement all the way to the upside, whereby if we could have still got another entry somewhere here, whereby we could have still had our stop loss be somewhere around here at the same level, and now that same position that was supposed to be at 3% will be turned into a 9.8%. And at the same time, one thing that I love is that once it goes to our overall take profit, which is here, it will be flipped into an 18%. Remember guys, it doesn't really need a lot of trades within the markets to be able to make the profits that you want. Most people would be like, I want to make 5,000 rands a month, and with that mindset, they think that they need to, every trade that they make, they need to make like 3,000 or 1,000, or they need to make a lot, or they don't have to. But the way that we have designed even our mastermind program or our mentorship program is to show you that you are even right to take losses, like, because in the markets most people take losses. So we're showing that you are even right to take losses, but we show you how you can flip that loss into a win, and how you can win in the long term picture. Because imagine such a trade, even if you take 10 losses, 15 losses, 18 losses, but you get this one trade, you'd be able to be profitable. But remember, our strategy does not even allow you to take 18 losses. So obviously you are going to be missing out if you are not one of those 7 people that are left in the spots. But now let us move over to the next, which is USDJPY. So now on USDJPY, one thing that I love is that you can easily see here on the 4-hour chart. This one here is a very simple, very basic. So you can easily see here at the chart we eventually just reached take profit. If you look at the previous video, we actually had this area be our take profit. So right here we did hit our take profit. So here you can see this is our lows, and price went up higher highs. So now it's testing those lows. So once it came back here, one thing that I'm doing is that I noticed that there's a high chance of price coming a bit more up to here. It's either price is going to come up to here because of the dollar index is usually going up, or price can at least even be able to just take profit somewhere here. So the most important thing that I can do now is when it happens that it breaks above this area, this 135.116 level during the week, if it does happen to break above there, it will mean that simply one thing that I need to do is that I need to continue going upward with it. But if it doesn't, and one thing that I love is I just look at JPY. JPY is a weak currency, so it means that with USD there's a high chance that, like, you know, if it is going up, it will happen to just push USDJPY as well upwards, or push Japanese yen downwards, because obviously it's a code and USD would be a base currency. So just by coming back here and being able to just spot this out, obviously here I can easily see that we have this area. I can do this right here, boom boom boom, do this. You can see resistance, price broke above impulsively. Remember, what matters more is how price broke out, and it broke out impulsively, and it's coming back here. It's previous resistance, now support to retest. Even this coming back to retest. So one thing that I'm more likely to do is wait for it, just to wait for it to come a bit more here. Once it gets here, one thing that I'm more likely to do is I will take this buy, and once we take this buy, it will allow us to have a minimum stop loss. I'll just show you. It will allow us to have a minimum stop loss. I can either have, like, you know, a 50 pip stop, or I can even have something as simple as a 30 pip stop, which would be fair. And once I have a 30 pip stop here, our first take profit will be looking at a 3%. But remember, we are trying to go all the way up to here, which is a 9.5%. Remember, all these trades that we're looking at here, there's no trade that's giving us less than a 7%. How does it happen that most people are still losing money in the markets? It means that literally these people are not one of the people that are, you know, taking trading seriously. These are people that are not learning every single day, but they are looking at trading as gambling, because they're hoping that they will deposit money, they'll get a right setup, they'll buy as much as possible, or they'll sell as much as possible, and they're going to make enough money as much as possible. But what sucks about that is that that's not a proven method that works. You can do that, yes, but you can't do that every single time. You can't really live off of that. You can't leave a job just to do that. But if you are looking to take trading serious, the one thing that you need is to be able to just capitalize the way that we trade, look at how we actually analyze, and most importantly, use our strategy, because the way that we implement our strategy is very different from a lot of people, and the way that we actually use our risk management methods super different. But not even that, our risk to reward ratios are massively insane. And one thing that I love is that these are proven methods that work, and I've put this on other students that have seen them work, and I want to put this on you. So make sure that you are in the Telegram group and you are up to date in terms of, you know, some of those spots that are left, because I did say it's 7 spots, but I don't know now as I'm speaking about this video how many spots are left. So it's all up to you into taking action. But one thing that I'm going to say is that you should have a beautiful week, you should have a profitable week, and obviously the link to the Telegram public group is in the description. And make sure that you are continuing to further your knowledge, make sure that you're growing each and every single day. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will see you in the next YouTube video. It is your boy, this one, Mutupi.